Did you know that only about 20 to 30% of what we do each day actually changes? That means nearly 70 to 80% of our daily life is on repeat. We wake up the same way, eat the same meals, scroll the same feeds, and think the same thought day after day. No wonder they call us creatures of habit. On average, we repeat 30 to 60 habits every single day. Half of them run on autopilot. We barely even notice them. About a quarter are good habits, the kind that move us forward. And the rest, the ones quietly pulling us backward. Though this ratio varies from person to person. But here's where it gets interesting. Among those dozens of routines, there are habits that truly stand out. Habits proven to have the greatest positive impact on our lives when we do them consistently. In the next 12 minutes, I'll walk you through which ones actually make a difference and which ones might not be as life-changing as people believe. What I'm about to share isn't just theory, it's backed by science, research, and real-world experience. To make it simple, we'll use a 3-star system. 1 star means it's not really worth your time. 2 stars represent habits that are good to have, and 3 stars indicate a truly life-changing habit. By the end of this video, I'll summarize everything for you. So stay until the end because what you'll discover might just reshape the way you live your days, and maybe even your life. Habit number 1, wake up immediately. You snooze, you lose. That used to be my motto. I believed that successful people never hit the snooze button, that waking up immediately was the key to discipline and productivity. So I tried it for an entire month. And honestly, I was miserable. I woke up on time, sure. But I spent the rest of the day feeling drained, unfocused, and constantly fighting off fatigue. That's when I realized something important. Our bodies need a moment of recovery after waking. Jumping out of bed instantly might sound productive, but it's like forcing a computer to run at full speed the second it powers on. It just doesn't work smoothly. And then, everything changed when I discovered something called the healthy snooze. According to science, hitting the snooze button once is completely fine. In fact, it can help your body transition more gently from sleep to wakefulness. But when you hit it repeatedly, 2, 3, or 4 times, you're actually confusing your brain. You re-enter a new sleep cycle only to interrupt it again minutes later, and that's what causes sleep inertia. That heavy, foggy feeling that makes mornings feel impossible. The recommended snooze duration is around 5 to 10 minutes. That's the sweet spot. Any longer, especially beyond 15 minutes, can pull you back into a new sleep cycle, leaving you even more tired if you wake before completing the full 90-minute cycle. So, here's the truth. A single snooze, up to 15 minutes, is perfectly acceptable. But forcing yourself to jump up instantly? Both science and experience agree. It doesn't make you more productive, it just makes you more exhausted. That's why the so-called wake up immediately habit only earns 1 star. Not worth the struggle. Habit number 2, make your bed. If you want to change the world, start by making your bed. The first time I heard that, I laughed a little. How could something so small possibly make a difference? But over time, I began to understand it was never about the bed. It was about discipline, momentum, and the quiet power of small beginnings. When you start your morning by completing even one simple task, you set the tone for everything that follows. You begin your day with order, not chaos. And that small sense of accomplishment, it multiplies, it creates momentum. A spark that carries into every action, every decision, and every challenge that comes your way. Countless people have shared how this tiny habit changed their mindset, helping them feel calmer, more focused, more grounded. Even science agrees. Making your bed in the morning might be more powerful than you think. Isn't just about neatness, it's a keystone habit. A habit that quietly creates a ripple effect across your life. Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, calls it a trigger for discipline. People who make their beds are statistically more likely to exercise, eat better, and feel more in control of their day. Even a survey from the National Sleep Foundation found that people who make their beds tend to sleep better. Why? Because a tidy space signals closure to your brain. A sense of calm, completion, and peace. It's a reminder that big transformations often begin with the smallest steps. And that's why this one, The simple act of making your bed earns a full 3 stars. Habit number 3, cold shower. Who doesn't love the comfort of warm water? The first time I tried a cold shower, I almost gave up within 5 seconds. My body froze. My breath turned sharp. Every instinct screamed, "Stop!" So naturally, I switched back to warm water. But here's what I didn't realize back then. That moment of shock, that discomfort, was exactly the point. In life, you can't escape discomfort. It's everywhere. In traffic, at work, your colleagues, even your boss. Cold showers don't remove those challenges. They prepare you for them. Because every time you choose to stay under that cold water, you're training your mind to stay calm in chaos. You could turn the knob back to warm, but you don't. And that single act of resistance builds something deeper. Mental resilience, emotional control, and the quiet confidence that you can handle whatever comes next. And here's the best part. It's not just mindset. Studies show that ending your shower with 30 to 90 seconds of cold water can boost your immune system, reduce sick days, and sharpen your alertness by activating your body's natural stress response. Research even links cold exposure to better blood flow, faster muscle recovery, and improved mood through a rush of endorphins and dopamine. This might be one of my personal favorites, but science shows you don't need to dive straight into freezing water. Start with warm water, then finish with 30 to 90 seconds of cold. That's more than enough. So, I'm giving this habit 2 stars, since other approaches can deliver even greater impact to your life. Habit number 4, reading a book. They say experience is the best teacher, and it's true. But if you had to experience every failure yourself, would you really have the time, the money, or even the energy to go through them all? Of course not. That's why learning from other people's experiences is one of the smartest choices you can make. A single book can condense decades of wisdom, a lifetime of lessons, into just a few hours of reading. I was never a book person either, but here's how I made it work. Start small. 1 page a day, just a minute of your time. It doesn't sound like much, but do it every day, and a year later, you'll have finished a full book. That's the power of small, consistent action. Much better than reading for an hour once than never picking up a book again. This is called the chunking method, a simple way to beat procrastination and stay consistent, even when the task feels overwhelming. Most people get stuck not because the work is too hard, but because the idea of doing everything at once feels impossible. Instead of swallowing the whole thing in one go, you break it into tiny, manageable pieces. Because your brain isn't afraid of small steps, it's afraid of giant ones. Studies show reading a book strengthens brain connections, improves focus, and sharpens memory retention. It also lowers stress by nearly 70%, helps you sleep better, and increases empathy by allowing your brain to live someone else's story. Research from Yale even found that people who read regularly tend to live longer than those who don't. You have no idea how much I hate this habit, yet I still do it every single day. Why? Because the benefits are beyond measure, and it's scientifically proven to be effective. That's why I'm giving this one my highest rating, 3 stars. It's not just a habit, it's a life-changing practice that truly transforms the way you live. Habit number 5, meditation. If I had to choose the hardest habit to maintain, this one would easily take the top spot. Now imagine this, doing nothing. No scrolling, no music, no movement, just you. And silence. For many, that silence quickly turns into noise, a storm of thoughts we've been avoiding all along. And that's exactly why this habit matters. It's not about sitting still. It's about training your mind to stay calm when everything else feels loud. If you already have razor-sharp focus, you might not need it. But if you're the kind who can't stand being alone, your attention keeps jumping from one thing to another, and your emotions feel unstable, then this practice could quietly change your life. Meditation is one of the most deeply studied habits in modern neuroscience and psychology. Research shows it can lower stress and anxiety by reducing cortisol levels, improve memory and focus by physically reshaping areas of the brain, and even calm the amygdala, the part that triggers fear and emotional reactivity. People who meditate regularly often sleep better, feel less overwhelmed, and develop a stronger immune system. It's not magic, it's science. I've got to admit, this habit isn't easy for me. Sitting still for 15 minutes sometimes feels like I'm wasting precious time that could use to chase my goals. Still, science consistently shows it offers powerful benefits, so I'll give it 2 stars. A nice habit to have, though not essential for everyone. But if you have ADHD or find it hard to stay focused, I truly believe this habit can be life-changing. Summary. Here it is, my final ranking, from the most powerful to the least impactful. Number 1 goes to making your bed. It looks small, it feels simple. But this one habit is the spark that starts your entire snowball of discipline. The moment you straighten that blanket, your mind gets the message. Rest is over, now we move. Don't hesitate, it's easy, it's effortless, and the impact is far bigger than it looks. Start here and you'll feel the shift almost instantly. For number 2 spot, reading a book. You can run as fast as you want, but if you're headed in the wrong direction, you're only wasting time and energy. Knowledge has had the biggest impact on my life, teaching me how people think, the difference between assets and liabilities, how psychology shapes our relationship with money, the fundamentals of marketing, and the principles of building wealth. If you already enjoy reading, great, keep going. Even Bill Gates still reads to this day. But if you're like me and don't naturally love books, don't set unrealistic goals that lead to burnout. That's where most people fail. Start small. 1 page a day. It won't hurt. And once the topic gets interesting, some days you'll go through 1 or 2 chapters without realizing it. The key is consistency. Real progress doesn't come from giant leaps. It begins with 1 steady step forward. Number 3 on the list, the cold shower. Many people ask, why choose discomfort when life is already stressful enough? Here's the truth. You can't avoid work stress. You can't avoid responsibilities. You can't avoid challenges that life throws at you. But a cold shower, that's optional. You could walk away, you could turn the knob, but you don't. Choosing discomfort when you don't have to is where your mental resilience is built. You don't need to plunge into freezing water on day 1. Start warm and finish with 30 to 90 seconds of cold. Even that small dose trains your mind to stay steady when things get difficult. For number 4, meditation. There's no question. It's a powerful habit, but it's not necessarily meant for everyone. Meditation works best for people who struggle to stay focused, deal with frequent mood swings, or often feel lost. As for me, I still practice it, just not every day. I do it when my mind feels overwhelmed or when I'm searching for new ideas. In those moments, taking a few quiet minutes to reset truly helps me calm down and think more clearly. And finally, the last habit. Honestly, you can let this one go. You don't need to torture yourself by waking up the second your alarm screams at you. What you truly need is good sleep. Deep, consistent, restorative sleep. Give your body the rest it deserves. If you really need to snooze, press it once, breathe, and keep it under 15 minutes. Your energy matters more than the pressure to be disciplined at all costs. So tell me, which habit do you think deserves the top spot? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes the most powerful change begins not with doing, but with simply sharing what you believe in.